Hi, welcome to Analytics for All. This is another lesson in my Excel for Data Science list. This lesson, again one of the earlier lessons, is called Learning to Use Formulas. And this is where we're going to start manipulating some of the data. Now, as with all my lessons, I have a full write-up on my website, analyticsforall.org. I'll put a link down in the description so you can go there and check it out if you want to go ahead and follow along with writing as opposed to just the video. But otherwise, let's go ahead, open up Excel, and let's get started here. All right, so I got an Excel sheet open here. I'm just going to go ahead and add some columns here just so we have some numbers to work with. All right. Just put some numbers in here. I'll explain what this means in a little bit. And we'll come over here. All right. So the first one we're going to do is we want to create a formula. Now, you'll notice after this bar up here, it's got the formula thing to it here. You can insert a function or a formula, but we're just going to start with a formula. We'll start with a very simple one. Now, to indicate that you want to do a formula instead of just a number, the first thing you want to do is just put an equal sign there. Now, you can work up here or you can work in the cell. Sometimes when the formulas get large and a little complicated, I tend to work up in the bar up here because you notice anything I type in the bar appears down in the cell. But with these, you can probably work down in the cell here. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to add these two first numbers up. So the simplest way to do it is just go overhead. We got the equal sign, and go over and click there. Now notice it automatically populates in here. And we'll put a plus sign, and then we'll go ahead and we'll put the B1. Okay? We get a 7. Now, real quick before you try, let me show you what happens if you do not put the equal sign first. If you just tried to type in the A1 plus B1, it's just going to be viewed as text. So you got to put the equal sign up first. But, whoops, let me get rid of that. Okay. So, now let's go ahead. That was an addition. Let's go ahead and try a subtraction. So we go ahead, we'll go over here, and we'll subtract. One thing you notice I always like here about Excel is it starts to color code. So you can quickly see which cell you're talking about. So when you look at your formula, it's color coded. It matches the boxes, the cells in there, so you know what you're looking at. So if you tried to do something more complicated, like let's say we wanted to subtract this from here, don't have to do it in a particular row. You can hop around like you want from there. But let's go ahead. We did subtract. Let's go ahead and do multiplications. We'll multiply 2. And for the multiplier sign, it's the asterisk above the 8, just like in programming, most languages. And we hit enter, and there you go. You got that. And finally, we'll divide. And we're going to divide by this. So there you have some basic arithmetic functions right there. Okay, another cool feature here of Excel is the fact that you can replicate formulas. I'm going to go ahead and just get rid of these formulas we made here. Oops. Just going to take this entire column and delete it, and they're gone. Okay, so let's just start off like we did up here. We're going to say 3 plus 4. Now watch this. Let's go back up here, and you notice on the bottom right-hand corner of the highlighted cell box, you've got a little square. If you hover over that, you should notice that your pointer will change. You can grab that and drag it down, and it's going to drag down your formulas with you. So now you see what we've done is I've added each one up. Each row has been added. So now if you can see up here too, you notice now it says A4, B4, A3, B3, that kind of thing. Another cool feature you can do is you can lock one of these. You can lock a column in place. We just put this sign here, hit enter. Now watch what happens when I drag these down again. It changes. And let's take a look at what happens. Now A1 stays lit up the entire time. So if I highlight it now, what happens when I go down to here? And I come up here and take a look. So only the B column changed because the dollar sign told me I want you to lock that column into the formula. So this is very basic formula making. Obviously, the formulas can get very intense and very big in Excel, but this is the very basic entrance. And Excel also has what they call some functions. And we're going to go over a couple of those right now. One of the first functions you're going to learn is sum. So what we do is we take sum, we put a parenthesis up, and then we just go ahead and grab what we want to add. So let's just take the entire first column of and there. Okay, so that is a nice shorthand way of not having to type, for 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4. It's just, you can just grab them, and you notice that it is separated by a parenthesis here. Now, we don't just have to go down or aren't stuck. We can obviously go sum here, and we can come across, add those up. We can also make a sum formula here that here we can just add all the numbers up in, and it'll give us a total of all the numbers in there. All right, now that's sum. We have another one that's an interesting one. We've got product. Product returns the multiplicate. We multiply. And if I could spell correctly, it'll work. So product up here, and let's go ahead and let's get the product of all of column C. Close it out, and it multiplies 4 times 3 times 2 times 3 to give us 72. So that's 12 times 2 is 24. 24 times 3 is 72. So that works out that way. Another one they have is, another common one you're going to run into is average. And it's going to take just the average of these 4 numbers. And then average, if you don't know what that is, it is the mean, if you've heard of that. All we're doing mathematically is we're adding these 4 numbers up and then dividing them by 4. So that gives us the average, which gives us 7.25. Now I want you to notice when I'm putting these in here, I start typing this one in, I start saying sum. Look how many sums are down here. Sum product, sum if, sum. There's so many formulas built in and stuff, so many functions. Really can't go over them all. But if you can come up here, if you want to play around and see what's in there, go to the formulas of your tab, and you could start to see auto sum, recently used, financial formulas. You've got logical formulas down here, ands, ifs, errors, lookup and reference. I mean, there's so much stuff. Date, time, functions. These are all, so not all of them yet at math and trig. But again, not all of these have to do with math. They're not all adding or subtracting. Some of them are lookup, reference. And I've got some videos on how to use HLOOKUP and VLOOKUP and stuff. And we'll get into some more of this as we go forward. I just wanted a quick introduction here to formulas and how to use them. Keep in mind, you always want to use the equal sign up front or it won't work. And as your formula starts to get funky, come up here. And you'll notice just by coming up here, it highlights for you. So it makes it a lot easier to understand what's going on. So if I go up here and highlight, and if I come here and I highlight, it just tells us. And check this out. I'll give you one more to go. You can even combine the two. So I'm going to have the product of that, and I want to have it combined with the sum of A and change it. But when you go back up and pop up in here, it tells you what's going on because everything is nice and color-coded. You can see what's going on. All right. If you like this video, go ahead, like and subscribe to my channel. Go ahead, leave me a message below. Tell me anything you want me to work on. I make videos on demand for pretty much anything data science related. So if it's Python, R, SQL, Tableau, visualizations, want to do some machine learning, Excel stuff. But I'm going to keep going forward. We're going to get into, making some charts, making some graphs, pivot tables, even doing some basic statistics and things like linear regressions in Excel. Again, thank you very much, and please visit my website.